Greetings. So we might get a little bit dark for some people that may be religious. Just a disclaimer and a warning on this episode. If you're sensitive to content pertaining to the Bible that may sound outlandish or dark, do not watch this particular episode. It's going to be very short because I'm still getting into the story about Enlil, Anu, and Enki. But before I do that, I got to kind of talk about the females and their role that they play in shaping the story. Now, what you got to remember is that this story is based on the Sumerian text, or some people call it Sumer. However, this story actually really, you get a better outlook on it when you study it from the Kemetic standpoint going into the Sumerian standpoint. And I want to point out one thing right here. See, the fighting that these brothers was doing amongst themselves, because that's what they was doing, Enlil and Enki. Anu, of course, he was above that. But these two brothers was fighting amongst each other over, essentially was over kind of like money and women, but it was a mixture of jealousy and some other things mixed up in it. But I want to isolate one part of this story right now. I'm not going to talk about everything because I could probably spend 5 hours talking about this story, but then breaking it down to help you to make sense of what I'm talking about. And my airtime is low right now, so I'm not going to, like I said, go too deep. But we are still definitely out here turning a profit. As you can see, I got my MasterCard on me. I just want to kind of point that out. Turned a profit. Actually, on this trip I made, I turned a $6,000 profit. There's a little cash. Somebody just gave me this for no reason. Not a lot of money, but I turned like a $6,000 profit on that Illinois trip and, you know, the I trip that we was talking about. So I just want to let you guys know things is progressing. 6,000 in credit. So just want to put that out there. But anyway, I'm going to come back up and finish this episode, but I'm just going to say this. This fighting that they was doing amongst themselves is actually, I'm bringing this up because we're getting ready to go back into this energy based on this virus thing and some of the bans that they want to put on the Constitution. And really, this all goes back to the Sumerian text, because Isis or Aset, and you guys are so hyped up and you call her Mary in the Bible, and you think she was a saint. And I'm not knocking any women or anything like that, but Isis, see, they try to say Nephthys was a demon, because Isis is made to be, you know, the wife and the, you know, the typical woman. But Isis was a very dark woman. She was a beast, but she was misled, actually. And she stole the secrets from her grandfather. She put a spell on her grandfather, Ra, and stole the secrets, and that's how she got to where she was at. See, that's what you got to realize. She stole to get to where she was at. Nephthys took a different approach. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with stealing or not stealing or anything like that, but I'm pointing this out because, see, it's one thing to take back what's yours, and it's another thing to go steal somebody else's stuff. And she had a spell put on her by her brother, Heru. Or I'm sorry, her brother Setut, or Set. And a spell was put on her by him. And he was the one that convinced her and taught her how to do this stuff. Because you got to remember, he was the controller of disagreeableness at that time. So he tricked her and taught her some misinformation and got her to get what she thought was the secrets, but she ended up not getting full access. And that's how we got to where we're at today. And they had to change it around and make it look like, you know, the Mary story and the wife and the good woman. But she was a beast. You may would have called her a female, the B word, you know. I'm not going to use it here. But she was a beast, definitely. She was a queen, you know, definitely royal bloodline. Want to point that out. But it's interesting. I'm going to keep that. I just want you to take a note of that, because that's going to lead us into what I'm going to talk about when I go back into the Enlil and Enki stories, and how this ties into the virus, and how if certain access codes aren't granted, this virus is going to wipe out everybody. And I got the research to prove it and the remedies, some of the codes on how to get out of it. So Stay tuned. Thank you guys for listening and watching and supporting. And as always, stay vigilant. Have a good day. Peace. Namaste. Good vibes.